The discipline of drifting, it's an addiction. To be able to push harder and faster and learn the tracks. The angle, the speed, the intensity when you're sitting on that grid. We have 3 or 4 corners to shine. One little mistake, you're back in the trailer, you're going home. The excitement and adrenaline from whether it be at a racetrack like Hampton Downs or doing a Conquer the Cape or Conquer the Crown clip where I'm challenging myself and the car to the absolute extremes on these dangerous roads. It's just like such an addiction. What excites me the most about drifting is the growth and how rapid that growth is, of being able to come from just a grassroots guy with next to no budget to making a healthy living and pursuing this as a career and doing it as a job. And to be able to prove you can do it out of New Zealand. I mean, you look at the top 16 field, even here in New Zealand, we've got some pretty big companies on board, some pretty leading brands, which is really cool to see. And on the global front, now it's a massive, massive career for many drivers. The biggest factor here is have fun. You know, the investment into the car, just get out there, enjoy the track time, because in pro competition, very limited seat time. Once you're knocked out, you're back in the trailer, and this is a good opportunity for the grassroots guys to get up close with the pros and get some bragging rights and be banging doors with Fanger and Mike, and it also helps them learning and knowing that if they're behind some of the pro guys, they can really trust them, that they're not going to spin, and it allows them to commit and have fun doing tandem chasing. It's so awesome to have the support of Tony Quinn and being able to, I mean, look at the facility. This is a world-class venue. What this place has been transformed into in the last year is just amazing.
This is amazing, isn't it, for the drifting guys to come. It's the first event on the big track, and Mad Mike's got queues miles long for autographs, and people just seem to be really enjoying themselves. Hampton Downs wants to have 4 or 5 iconic events a year, and one of them needs to be a drift event, and so we want it to be the best possible drifting event we can make.
Activity-wise, we've just tried to ram as much as we can into a day here at Hampton Downs. We have the skid pad, which is open for the Mazda Gymkhana, so that gives the fans a chance to hop in the little Mazda MX-5 and experience drifting, give it a go in the Gymkhana. We've got some cool prizes to give away for the fans. But we have the open drift for the grassroots, we have the pro top 16 shootout, we have a team drift where it's up to the 3 drivers to make the most explosive-looking run drifting throughout the new section here on the international track. There's the time attack, so they're trying to set the fastest lap record and beat the GTs, which we had here at the 101 last year. So yeah, just a lot of stuff rammed into one day.
Hello everybody, welcome to Hampton Downs for the first ever Mad Mike's Summer Bash. Not only are we going to be seeing a Gymkhana, drifting, time attack, but we're going to be seeing top 16 drivers competing for the first time ever on the international circuit. That means the entire course. So come along and check out the first ever Mad Mike's Summer Bash.
It's amazing. You know, anything Mike does, he does this big. So, yeah, we're stoked to be here. It's a brand new track out there, even playing field for everyone. Jody and I have just been out, done some testing, worked up a sweat, and it's heaps of fun.
Man, it's pumping. Just the crowd is just huge, huge. So no, it's really, really cool. And the tracks are all cycling. So much fun. You can probably see on my face how much fun I'm having.
This event for drifting in New Zealand, we've got Jared Deander down here on the mics with the likes of Gaz Wider and Justin Roux coming back to compete and have some fun with us. It's so good, you know. We can head out there and go door to door with the people that we normally couldn't. And I used to grow up as a kid sitting there watching these guys drive, so it's so good. The whole event on a whole, trying to put New Zealand drifting on the map is really good.
Mikey's, you know, done everything for our sport drifting here back home, and hey, I don't think anybody can beat him for an event in our country.
Anything involving Mike's always unique. He always does things differently and thinks outside the box. And to have 2 separate tracks at one time, running drifting and circuit racing and all different forms of motorsport, it opens up the variety at the event and gives people a bit more to look at and different things going on.
Yeah, there's people everywhere, you know, there's all different ages and types of people here this weekend, and I guess that's what Mikey's tried to do, is bring all motorsports together.
Our idea of the whole event is to have fun as a driver and as a spectator, have lots going on and have fun and enjoy it as well. Got a long line of fans here, which is really cool to see. I don't compete in New Zealand much, but when I do, it's awesome to see the support I have back at home.
I was blown away when I first went out on the track, and all the fences are just lined, you know, 3 or 4 deep, and the car park's full. That's what we want. New people to come into the sport, come along and see what we do.
There's no groups on, like, you know, top tier, middle tier. Everyone can go out with anyone, and that definitely helps, because when I was growing up, going against the top guys, you improve leaps and bounds. So it's got to help the grassroots guys.
I want to see the sport grow, you know. I think that's what Mike wants to see as well, and put New Zealand on the map, which he already has. And we just come here, chilled out, just having fun, taking the boys for a ride. And
it's just cool to be at an event like this. It's just for fun, and go out and just do your best, and you can be really competitive, but also it's a little bit laid back, and you don't have to sort of stress out and worry. If you get knocked out, then you just go out and have fun in the next session.
We're really looking forward to the top 16, because it's been a long time before you've had all these ex-New Zealand champions on the track together. It's taking drifting to the next level in New Zealand, so just for exposure and having Hampton Downs behind it, Red Bull, Mazda, everyone, it's awesome.
He's hand-selected, you know, some of the best drivers we have here in New Zealand for drifting, and a lot of old superstars making a comeback, and just being able to get out there and enjoy the track with them. To be the best, I guess you got to beat the best.
We are about to open drift practice right now. Again, a host of festivities going on today. Mad Mike and this slew of other drifters out here on this skid pad. And we were just up in the pit area where all the drivers were signing autographs, but now they're gonna be hitting course here. And we call it the International Circuit. The International Circuit, which now does include the extended portion of the track.
Yeah, I think you're about to get your first look at Red Bull, 1,200 horsepower of FD spec MX-5, piloted by the one and only Mad Mike.
I was joking, but it's probably as wide as it is long front to back. A very, you know, interesting vehicle, a very difficult car to drive, and he even says that. He'll tell you that, going from his RX-8 to the RX-7, which is we're gonna see here in a little bit, but this is the Red Bull with Fang and Dan Woolhouse getting wide and deep into that kitty later, but here comes the Red Bull, Mad Mike. Rotary-powered Datsun wagon, Ian having a blast out there.
Adam Richards in the 180SX. The fabrication on that thing is immaculate. Beautiful car. He is one of our judges. Great to see Adam back behind the wheel. He, Justin Root, Carl Reutemann, our judges for this afternoon. But another interesting fact about this event is that we do in fact have every drift king ever in New Zealand here competing today. Carl Reutemann as well being out amongst the drifters, four-wheel drive power.
And we're out here having fun. First ever Mad Mike Summer Bash. Such a unique event, and this is what it's all about. Well, here we are. We're seeing the top 16 drivers have their first go-round here at the Double B, the Double Bastard, as it's been deemed here at Hampton Downs. And we have some very wet conditions. Let's see how these boys handle it.
All right, so literally drifting paradise here at Hampton Downs, able to set up whatever track I like. So here I'm just setting up the start for the top 16 Superclass. So excited to have the top 16 guys. We've got a good run up here. Should challenge them for some big backwards entries into that turn one. So we'll put this here. This will be the first in a clip. So the idea is to come as fast as possible down the straight, giving the guys a huge run up, get some really aggressive big entries, flick the car and get it 90 degrees or as sideways as you can get it. Out wide and then come in and get a nice inside clip. So it's kind of like your racing apex for this corner. The natural arc is the car will just slide out nice and wide. Another touch and go out on where the rumble strip is. I just give the boys a bit of freedom around this corner. There's a few different approaches you can take. Whether you go right out wide is obviously the slowest way out, but then it sets you up good for this flick in here. So this part of the track is actually really tricky. I think that's why Quinny called it the Double B. So it looks like it's one radius, but it kind of straightens out a little bit, and right there it drops off before you come into another apex. So it is a tricky corner. So in drifting, we have clipping points, and then we have outer zone. This here is going to be a zone where you need to fill from the first cone. to the second cone. So you can fill this zone, you'll be doing pretty good. There's some cool rumble strips. If you get it all right, this last corner, you should have your front tyre right on this rumble strip. It's just getting it as fast and as violent, but getting all those clips so it looks impressive for the spectators standing up on the hill.
All right, so here we go. Top 16 practice underway. This is Mad Mike's first go-around here in the Rad Bull on this course. Again, 4-rotor, twin-turbo, MX-5 deemed the Rad Bull. Here we go. Send it. All right, so the format here in the top 16 is each driver gets one practice lap, and then 2 judge laps by our 3 judges. And then we will whittle it down to the head-to-head action.
Darren Kelly next to run. Darren Kelly, Nissan R35 GTR. There is a dry line starting to emerge out there, Jared, which is nice to see through this last double B corner, which makes me think there are good things coming later on.
So look at that. See, you're seeing smoke. You're seeing smoke, so that means the conditions are drying out. So here we go, Mad Mike Motorsport on his first qualifying run in the Rad Bull, the 4-rotor twin-turbo MX-5. Judging starts now for our top 16 drivers.
Oh, Mike's car just sounded a little bit off there as it came through this section there. It sounded like he had to give it a big kick just to get it going again, Jared. It's definitely a handful, 1,200 horsepower and some less than ideal conditions, but Mad Mike going to throw it down and give us our first qualifying score here at Mad Mike's Summer Bash, hashtag MMSB, and that has been shut down.
Some shimming there, shutting her down. Mad Mike Motorsport, unfortunately, having some issues.
I say a rescue car going to have to be dispatched to recover Mad Mike.
Yeah, first qualifying pass, a lot of preconditions out there, but first practice was pretty good. But yeah, now my first actual judge run, car was just cutting out. Now I was unable to complete the section, so be a big fat 0 from me. So we've got the RX-8 there. We'll pull the RX-8 out.
No big deal. All right, so here is the second run for our drivers. Once again, you see Fanger warming up his tires, but now Mad Mike switching vehicles. He is now behind the wheel of what he's been deeming Bad Bull.
One shot. Mad Mike has one shot. He's actually the lowest qualifier so far. So Mad Mike is 16 at the moment.
He says it's a bit easier to drive than the Rad Bull right now. Big angle coming in to the double B. Bit of a straightening there, now tightening it back up. Into the rumble strip, using all the course.
Mad Mike well and truly into competition now as Fanger Dan comes through. VE Commodore with the supercharger underneath the bonnet.
Yeah, let's see if Fanger Dan can throw down. Look at this. We talked about going from wet to dry, and Fanger hanging it out there. Nice job. You see him hitting 3-wheel motion, hopping, looking like one of the lowriders in the McGuire's Hard Park show and shine. Yeah, big angle here. Make some noise for Fanger Dan.
So the judges nodding on that one, Jared. The judges liking that one. Cole Armstrong, V Energy 250 GT, RB32 underneath the bonnet. In very good form, leading the current national championship.
Big angle, dude, in that transition.
There's a smoke machine in the back of that car, right? Those tires are just begging for mercy. If Cole Armstrong can hang on to this one, we are on for a big score here. Cole Armstrong gets back in the gas, buries it out nice and wide to the inside. Put your hands together for Cole Armstrong. What a run from Cole Armstrong, and he's got the hand off the wheel. Gaz Wider out on track. Gaz will know that the gauntlet has been thrown. Gaz Wider on the loud pedal. Looks like he hasn't missed a trick, Jared. He is back in the hot seat. Gaz Wider as smooth as ever. Look at that angle.
Throttle pinned right now.
Gaz Wider way out wide, out to the outside corner. Comes down through the inside. Gaz Wider, 4 times your national champion. What a run for Wider.
Gaz Wider living up to his name. He went wider than anybody else on the double B, using all of the course, and then he tightened it up. I mean, if you look, just the smoke signals were saying that he is killing it.
I just heard a judge give a 99.
A 99, a near perfect score for Gaz Wider.
I think I fluked it, to be honest. Like, I'm not used to the car, and I just threw everything at it, gave it 100%, and come away with one of the best laps I've done. It felt unreal, so I'm pretty chuffed with the new car.
So we are done, ladies and gentlemen, as far as qualifying. Number 1 is Gaz Wider. Number 1, Gaz Wider. Number 2 is Cole Armstrong. Number 3, Fanger Dan Wilhouse. Number 4, Darren Kelly. Number 5, Sky Zhao. Number 6, Andrew Redwood. Number 7 is Danum Templeman. Number 8, Brad Smith. Number 9, Nico Reed. Number 10, Jody Verholst. Number 11 is Adam Hedges. 12 is Troy Jenkins. Number 13 is Mad Mike Whitted. 14, Kurt Whitaker. 15, Bruce Tannock. And 16 is Drew Donovan.
Mad Mike Summer Bash, the first ever, and we are doing the first ever, of course, Nitto Tire Triple Threat. What is the Triple Threat? Well, why not bring up the gentleman that curated this whole event? What is it? What's the format? What are you looking for?
So, you know, now it's not about beating the opponent. Usually tandem battle is door-to-door action, so we're trying to get as close as possible. This is 3 cars on the track, and it's working together. There's no clipping points, there's no clipping zones. It's literally make the most exciting, explosive run. We've got big prizes, we've got rad hardware, and bragging rights have taken home the first ever Mad Mike Triple Threat by Nitto Tires.
There you have it, Nitto Tire Triple Threat. Let's go to the track.
Dan now got to get up onto the back door of Cole Armstrong. Gaz Wider hanging with him in the barn build. Cole Armstrong out the front, Fanger right in the middle of that track there. Gaz, Fanger with the pass! Fanger Dan with the pass!
Fanger Dan, Cole
Whoa,
Armstrong,
how close can you get? Mungie. No, we're good. This is style points. Fanger Dan back on the gas. Gaz Wider closes back up. Put your hands together. Fanger Dan. Cole Armstrong, Gaz Wider. Goes past him. We have a 10. We've got a 10.
No, really?
We've got a 9. We've got a 9. We've got 100 from Mad Mike. We've got 100 from Mad Mike.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hampton Downs for the first ever Mad Mike Summer Bash. I'm Jared Dienda. Well, we saw some wet qualifying. We saw some dry. And now the sun is out. We have ideal conditions. The crowd is psyched. Gaz Wider, coming out of 4 years of retirement, he comes out swinging. He is going for it. Mad Mike breaks Rad Bull, but brings out Bad Bull. He's in the mix. Top 16. We're going to find out who the first ever Mad Mike Summer Bash winner is. Who's it going to be?
Pair of LS is out on track. Gaz Wider, the 4-time DK out of Dargaville in the North Island, up against Donnie D all the way from Tauranga. Donnie D right on the back of Gaz Wider. Goes there. Donnie D makes a pass to the inside. Donnie D just pushes Wider well wide there. Went way to the inside there. How are the judges going to call that?
Yeah, taking a look at that, you saw Gaz initiate. Looks like Drew Donovan dove in on the inside.
Was he shallow or was Gaz too wide?
I think he went beyond and there was contact there.
Jody Verholst's bonnet just came up. Jody Verholst's bonnet just blew up.
To be honest with Jody's scenario here, Dio Shihara, you know, Formula Gym champion, that happened to him. Here we go, Jody out front, Danum Templeman giving chase, and Danum is really going to apply the pressure, but he knows he has a comfortable lead, again, given the scenario with her not having any sort of advantage whatsoever without, you know, having a battle here.
Jody Verholst producing plenty of smoke. Danum's got to make sure that he doesn't get lost, doesn't go off the track. Then we might get into that one more time scenario where the guys have to battle again, but it doesn't look like Danum's going to make any silly mistakes. Sitting well back, but he's just going to bank a run, really. And here we go with Troy Jenkins, Sky Zhao. Zhao has the lead, Jenkins on the chase. Troy Jenkins hanging with Sky until about, Troy Jenkins is straightened up. Troy Jenkins is straightened up there on the chase. Sky Zhao up front keeps on going, keeps on the loud pedal, keeps smoking up those rear tires. Troy Jenkins, though, not making any sort of dent there. Oh, that was very...
Sky looks like he's putting it together. Who do we have here? Fanger,
Kurt Whitaker, Fanger Dan, two guys who know each other very well, have a lot of history. 2J up against the LS. Now remember, Mad Mike said this was all about proximity. What he doesn't want to see is Fanger Dan shallow down angle-wise. So Kurt Whitaker hanging with him at the moment. We know that Kurt had a bit of a problem with a miss. Kurt Whitaker, though, doing a good job.
Fanger with the correction there.
Fanger with the correction. This is going to be a pretty... Fanger Dan with a wheel off into the dirt. Fanger Dan loses a bumper. Kurt Whitaker closes up behind him. Kurt Whitaker just pulled out of his drift a little bit there, but Kurt Whitaker has stayed in it. Kurt Whitaker hanging with him. Put your hands together for Kurt Whitaker, the current 1NZ and Fanger Dan Woolhouse.
You talked about proximity. That was Mad Mike's thing. Saw some mistakes from Fanger Dan, liked Kurt Whitaker gaining some proximity, backed off a little bit. Fanger got into the dirt. You got to think Kurt Whitaker backs off, but then he still applies some pressure.
I'm hearing word from the judges. They're saying that one is pretty even at the moment, Jared.
All right, so great assessment. Second half of this battle, here we go. Who do we got?
Drew Donovan and Gaz Wider, where we saw the contact on the first pass. Has Gaz done enough there? Did Gaz, was it a little puff of dirt there?
Yeah, you're seeing him fight for it here across the finish line. I did see a simple mistake there from Gaz Wider in that chase position, but you have to take in consideration the contact on that first battle. These judges have to digest that first run, wait a few battles in between, and then give a verdict. So we'll get that verdict in a moment. Who's out there on track?
Sky Zhao and Troy Jenkins, RB30 out the front, LS on the chase. Now Sky Zhao has a fast car. Sky Zhao will close up now. Can he put the pressure on Troy Jenkins? Can he force him into that mistake through the double B corner?
Look at that, now he reels him in. Nice job by Sky Zhao. I think these guys are really taking to heart what Mad Mike said. Sacrifice some angle and gain proximity. You saw Sky do that. You said he had a faster car. He comes and catches up into the double B. Shows a little bit of dominance there.
So we do have the official call on that first battle there. Gaz Wider goes through to battle Danum Templeman. And Sky Zhao gets the win over Troy Jenkins.
Who's on track?
Kurt Whitaker up against Fanger Dan, two of the best known identities in New Zealand drifting.
Kurt Whitaker, he had some issues. His father is his spotter. He's up here talking about detuning the power, making sure, because that top end was falling out there as Kurt Whitaker out front, seeing a lot of distance, a lot of space in between the two drivers.
Kurt Whitaker, put your hands together for the current champion and the former champion.
Judges are really scrutinizing here this battle, but again, we'll get back to the Kurt Whitaker Fanger Dan battle.
Big initiation from Cole Armstrong. Bruce Tannick, who knows him well.
Bruce Tannick, big smoke. I think he needs to compromise a little bit of that to gain some proximity, but how do you cut through that plume of smoke?
Cole Armstrong just doing a great job out front, just killing those tires on the loud pedal the whole way around. Look at that smoke plume from Cole Armstrong, putting on the show as Cole Armstrong. Can he keep it on the track? What a run from the V Energy man. Cole Armstrong, Tauronga's finest son. Do we have an official call on Kurt versus Fanger
yet? We do. It's going one more time. So those two gentlemen are going at it again. It's a one more time between Kurt Whitaker and Fanger Dan Woolhouse.
Nico Reed out on track in the Taniwha versus Brad Smith for online logistics in the 350Z out front. Brad Smith creating a gap here, Jared.
Smith right now, not throwing down a bunch of smoke, but that is not a criteria. It just is a sign of a good time.
Yeah, he's just got to make sure that he keeps enough angle out front. Woo! Nico Reed carrying the speed. Nico Reed not backing off. He will be back on the bumper of Brad Smith very shortly. Here we go.
Look at Nico Reed. Wow, did you see Nico just shimmy his way and says, what's up, how you doing? I'm just right here, just hanging. All right, so Bruce Tannick initiating there. Let's see how Cole drops into formation. He does a good job there. Here we go, using all the track. Tannick throwing up that Achilles radial smoke, but Cole Armstrong cannot be phased.
I feel like Cole's just cruising. He's just hanging with it. He's back on the gas again. This part through the middle of the section here will tell us how fast Cole Armstrong actually is.
You see a big straining there from Tannick. Cole! Oh, man, so...
There's a hand out the window there from Cole. He knew
I'm
that.
Seeing
Cole Armstrong still happy there. Cole Armstrong still smiling. He's one of the true characters of New Zealand drifting, and his growth, Jared, has been phenomenal. Redwood creating a gap already over Adam Hedges. Redwood just on that loud pedal, just smoking up those Achilles tires. Here he comes. Look at how much speed Redwood's got up there through that section.
All right, Redwood keeping consistent through the track. Quite a bit of distance between him and Adam H. Here we go.
This is Nico Reed up against Brad Smith. Nico Reed, Brad Smith. So we think this is pretty even so far. It's going to be decided by this.
Wow. You can see him putting down a solid, consistent angle. Smith really having to cut through the smoke signal, but here comes Taniwha. Wow, look at him throw some more angle at it in the sweeper. What is Smith and how is he going to handle this?
I think Brad Smith will be faster through this point because if you remember the last couple of runs, look at Brad Smith. Nico Reed has to get off the gas there, so that's going to close up Brad Smith. Bro, Brad Smith, he's had to jump on the brake just about, and he's had to pull out of the drift. Nico Reed just slowed him down that little bit too much. Brad Smith was on him till then.
We have found out Nico gets the win. Nico gets the win, and it was close. We're getting a judge's ruling here, and they're saying it was by the hair of his tires.
Andrew Redwood, he is all over the back of Adam Hedges in the C's garage machine. Yeah, Adam Hedges, we were told, was packing 450 odd kilowatts out of that SR20. Andrew Redwood down around the 310 mark. So look at Redwood right over the back.
Look at that angle there, using all the course. This could allow Redwood to gain up.
Andrew Redwood all over the back of the Hedges machine. Sees Garage.
That was a good battle there. That was fun. I mean, that was, I would say, fairly equally paired up vehicles. Looks like Mad Mike.
Darren Kelly. That's a wild initiation from Darren Kelly there into turn number 1. Mad Mike probably wondering what was going on there. Mike will close up onto him there.
That was big and stylish. I mean, to manage that, that's going to be interesting for Mad Mike. He says he enjoys driving the Bad Bull, but man, look at that big, huge smoke cloud.
Nobody has been that close so far, Jared. Mad Mike is here to bring the noise at Mad Mike Summer Bash.
Yeah.
Look at Mad Mike. He is all over Darren Kelly.
All right, this is what we're talking about. Door banging as Mad Mike now gains that proximity. So Darren really airing it out. You see a lot of the smoke. That's a lot of wheel speed. He's getting the momentum of the car. You saw him compromise, especially in the double B. You take a little bit of angle at it, but then just nosing and get on the door, and that's kind of the criteria.
I just miss seeing Mike chasing on New Zealand soil. That's a sight for sore eyes. We haven't seen that for so long here. Do we have a call? Andrew Redwood, Adam Hedges? And Adam Hedges takes out Andrew Redwood.
So Fangadan, big smoke. Let's see Kurt. See if he can wrangle him in.
Fangadan out the front. We saw him blow that rear bumper off Fangadan on a very aggressive run. Here comes Kurt Whitaker, though, right up onto the back.
Yeah, that got interesting there. You saw Kurt Whitaker close the gap there, and you heard him lift. It got quiet there for a moment, and Kurt gained that proximity, and just the timing was a bit off for Kurt Whitaker, and really to maintain that door-to-door, angles.
Mike and Darren now with, we think Mike will have a slight advantage at the moment. It's Mikey out front. Mike's created a little bit of a gap there, Jared, on the first corner.
All right, so Mad Mike throws it in, big angle here. Let's see how Darren Kelly handles that.
Let's see what he's able to do. He's fallen back. Darren Kelly has fallen back. Mad Mike got on the gas early. Mad Mike pulling away from Darren Kelly out the front there. Go to the outside.
Yeah, Mad Mike really going through the course right now.
Oh!
And coming out of drift is Mad Mike. And to be quite honest, this thing is Frankenstein together as far as tires go, because he was taking tires and rims even off the MX-5. You could see the fitment there isn't exactly what he was looking for.
We have an official call. Darren Kelly goes through. Darren Kelly goes through, taking out Mad Mike.
And here's the final round of the top 16. Kurt Whitaker and Fangadan. Fangadan in the chase position.
I feel like Kurt Whitaker looks a little bit more comfortable out front maybe. Kurt Whitaker creates a bit of a gap there. Now can Fangadan get up onto the back of him? Kurt Whitaker goes to that wide line again. Official call has been made. Fangadan goes through. Fangadan Woolhouse goes through to the top 8. So Fangadan Woolhouse up against Sky Zhao, Gaz Wider, Danum Templeman, Bruce Tannock and Nico Reed, and Adam Hedges up against Darren Kelly.
Time Attack, the concept behind it is not your typical first past the post race series. It's more about your flying lap, getting that one perfect lap.
Pretty good having like a whole different classes of cars. So you got drifting, time attack, cruising guys.
Anything associated with Mad Mike is awesome. Like just the whole concept and what he's trying to do in New Zealand and overseas is just amazing. It's an honour to be here. The calibre of cars is just absolutely primo.
It's pretty rad being on the track with Murphy. I'll give him a little chase and I'm sure he'll give me a little wave goodbye when he passes me, so.
The old time attack session is a little bit different considering we're driving a, I could say bog standard, but it's not really normal 911. It's seriously fast. You sort of fit in pretty good. There's some wild and wacky machinery out there in that class and some stuff with some mega horsepower.
First rear-wheel drive car, and to have a healthy lead, be there by a couple of seconds is really cool. It's really good that Mike made Time Attack a part of this really good event, because otherwise we don't get events like this. We don't get these spectators, so it was really good.
Well, here we are, Hampton Downs once again, and Mad Mike is here. We're going to talk about insane initiation, something you love. You want to see big style and big angle.
Yeah, so one thing is the commitment required when it comes to drifting, and how close you can get to walls, and like the speeds you can see going on now, as fast as possible, as violent as possible, big flicks, get goosebumps in your arms, and that's pretty cool.
That's a great unit of measure to see if it is the most insane initiation. Who's going to have it? Let's find out. Rotiform Insane entry winner, Ian McShane. Ian, get on up here, buddy. We're officially into our first battle of the Great Eight, as we can see. Gaz Wider out front, Danum Templeman in chase.
Yeah, Danum Templeman doing a good job hanging with Gaz Wider so far. You got to think that Templeman is going to have the speed up through this middle section, but Gaz Wider been impressive so far today up through the centre section of the track. Let's see how this plays out as both cars stomp the gas coming up the hill.
Man, Gaz Wider is flat out. Danum Templeman, you see him take some angle out of it. He's going to close in, but Gaz Wider pushing that car. Danum Templeman, whoa!
Front wheel.
And it looks like Danum is having an issue there.
Look at that front wheel just wobbling backwards and forward there, Jared.
You saw the wobble, and that's not the way the wheel should roll.
It's going to be scary too, right? Because that's full noise, full lock coming over that hill. And that let go, and he didn't miss him by much.
Here we go again, Bruce Tanek and Tani Fa, Nico.
Let's see what he's got. Bruce Tanek, though, has a habit of stepping up his game when he comes up to battle one of the top guns. Here is Bruce Tanek right in that smoke cloud, right behind him there, right on the door.
All right, so Nico navigating the course here as Tanek. See him not too far behind here as Nico. Good angle, good smoke. Tanek just ducking in there into formation. Nice job. Nico throws some more angle at it towards the tail end.
Yeah, Nico Reed looking real strong here. Bruce Tanek falling back here. Bruce Tanek maybe just lost in that smoke. Nico Reed hard on the gas. Up and over that hill again. Nico Reed hits that same flat spot through there, but Nico Reed back on the gas again. Makes some noise. South side sliders for Nico Reed. Bruce Tanek gonna go off the track. Bruce Tanek throws it off the track. Nico Reed put the pressure on Jared, and that's what happens.
Don't panic, Tanek, and unfortunately he did, as Nico rips through the entirety of the course and Bruce spins out.
Now, we've had a special guest join us up here. Mike, what are the conditions like out there? It looks like it's pretty hard to see out there.
Yeah, the visibility is crazy. This long sweeper coming around before we come into the double B. If you're not on the door, you're blind, so it's really, really tricky. But the biggest thing is just trying to make the tyres last 2 laps. And the guys that figure that out fast will be the ones that'll be able to have that grip when they come to that second lap.
And tell me what's happening as we go through.
So we're like third gear, there's an inner clip there, and then a touch and go there. So just trying to get out wide and get right out to the edges of the track. That's the fastest way to get around. They've just gone past the inner clip. This corner here, we've kind of left freestyle. So there's different lines, whether you take the middle line or go out wide. You can see Bruce is doing an amazing job. He's got a lot of power in that thing. We all run spotters as drivers, so that's someone that sits up here in the judges tower. Bruce looking good here. So straight away, Nico would have known then he was up on an advantage there with Bruce having a spin coming around this last turn.
And Sky's another one who we haven't seen in regular competition as well. He looks like he's driving like an angry man.
He is, and he's up against Fanger, who's a 2-time New Zealand champ in this Holden. Fanger is one of the most aggressive drivers in the country, and by far one of the guys that I love to drive against.
Because he's not going to lift, is he?
No, you can see Fanger's just creating a huge land of the long white cloud right there. There's a lot of weight, he throws it in with big angle. You can see he commits really hard, and Sky's doing the best he can to stay on that chase. He's doing an amazing job.
Put your hands together for Skies out there and Fanger, Dan. Good chase there from Skies out. Didn't get overawed there, just stayed with it. All right, Darren Kelly, Adam Hedges now out on track. Darren Kelly has the lead. Adam Hedges with the little SR20 in behind the pair of Nissans. Now that has gone all sorts of wrong there. He's just driving away at the moment, Jared.
Hedges unfortunately gave it to him, or fortunately for Darren Kelly, just handed that over to him. Now Hedges is just going to hang out there in the smoke, and Kelly making it look pretty easy there.
Just had a bit of information though from Haley there. She's saying that Darren Kelly's clutch is starting to go. So
here we go, back to the battle here, and look, Sky's out front, and Fanger Dan in the chase position. Who's going to come out on top? This is the second half of their battle. Right now, I don't know, Fanger Dan, he needs to gain some ground. As you said, a very fast car in the straight. Look at that.
Yeah, Sky's out, got the angry, the red mist on again and just put the foot down. Fanger Dan making no inroads whatsoever. Put your hands together for Sky's out the front. Good, solid job there. We did see Fanger get the result before, though, when he wasn't right there proximity-wise. So Fanger Dan goes through. Fanger Dan goes through to the top 4.
House advances on.
The event's pretty amazing. The organization is good. Hampton Downs track is awesome. So I had a lot of fun. I feel a bit gutted, but yeah, overall good day.
Right now, it's Danum and Gaz.
Danum and Gaz. Gaz to the inside straight away there. Danum Templeman out front definitely has the horsepower advantage, but Gaz Wider showing no respect for the 2JZ monster.
Yeah, and you got to remember, oh, look at that. Gaz using all the course, almost too much, or definitely too much, as you see the brown dirt go up, the dust cloud. And if you can recall, Daniel Templeman had that issue in the double B.
Gaz is committed. He's more committed than just about anyone else up that hill, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, Gaz is just absolutely pinned through the floor. Daniel Templeman brings it all the way through. You know, again, on paper, if you looked at it, yes, 4-time champion, but Gaz Wider has put on one heck of a show here today. Here we go. Who's this? This should be
Darren Kelly's sitting a long way back off Adam Hedges there, but
look
of course
at Darren. Oh,
Darren, where's
goodness.
Darren gone? That stopped. Darren Kelly has stopped.
And there's that clutch. Right now, Hedges completes the rest of the course, and look at Adam Hedges. And looks like he's having some fun, and that could hand Hedges the victory.
So the two Drift Corp teammates, Gaz Wider and Fanger Dan on side number 1, and Nico Reed and Adam Hedges head-to-head in the top 4.
It's Fanger and I in the top 4, so that's always good. We started like 14 years ago, so we've done a lot of driving together, so hopefully we can put on another good show.
Here we go, Fanger Dan, Gaz Wider. Gaz Wider will have the lead. Gaz Wider initiates early. Fanger Dan goes with him. Fanger Dan goes right up the inside there. Jared DeAnder door banging at its finest from Fanger Dan and Gaz Wider, Drift Corp's Northland Sons.
Look at that, Gaz Wider coming outside. Fanger Dan was great composure there. Now into that right-hand sweeper. Here comes Gaz Wider, airing it out. A lot of distance between Fanger Dan. Can he catch up with Gaz?
Yeah, here we go, up through turn number 3, up through the straight where we know Gaz Wider's been strong. He's been real consistent. He's stayed on the gas. Fanger Dan, can he close up the gap? Fanger Dan, here comes Fanger Dan. He will close up. Fanger Dan, Gaz Wider goes to the outside though, Jared.
Man, the way that Gaz Wider, the way that Gaz stays on it, it seems like he has so much confidence in that car. It has a lot of side grip. You can see Fanger Dan just could not hold on to it.
When you have a guy leading with that is consistent, you know you can commit and not have to really worry on a mistake. Here we got another battle going here for top 4.
All right, here we go. This is the other side of the draw. Adam Hedges, Nico Reed. We heard already Adam Hedges had no expectations coming in today. He had basically rebuilt this car for the weekend, and Nico Reed with the fresh engine under the bonnet. Jared, he's looked good all day.
Yeah, Nico has just been on it right now. He is the monster, as you said, and right now Tani Fa is showing his claws and his teeth.
Yeah, the Nico Reed car is absolutely flying up front, but C's Garage not able to close up. Hedges not closing the gap. Nico Reed will come down through the double B. Put your hands together for Nico Reed, the Southside superstar.
Yeah, Nico Reed just looks dominant, but how's Nico's chase game?
Here we go, Adam Hedges, Nico Reed. What has Nico Reed got for Hedges?
But look at that, he loses some angle there to gain that proximity as he tucks into the smoke.
Yeah, Nico Reed just staying with Adam Hedges nice and tight at the moment. Just giving enough room there where he can't be trapped into a simple mistake. We'll see that big line again through here from Nico Reed.
But Nico could end up biting himself, you know. I mean, does he have a lot of track time going against Hedges right now as Hedges pulling out of the sweeper. Here comes Nico through the smoke. This is where a lot of mistakes were made because you might lunge forward, but one might drop back, and it looks like Nico does keep his composure as Hedges comes into the double B.
Yeah, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Hedges, Nico Reed, fantastic driving at its finest here at Mad Mike's Summer Bash. What a run. Nico did not back off, and to Adam Hedges' credit there, Jared, he didn't lift at all either. He just threw that in.
One of those drivers, Hedges or Nico, is going to the finals. On the other side, here we go. Fanger Dan and Gaz Wider will announce the finals after this battle. The second half as Fanger Dan out front and Gaz Wider giving chase.
Two great mates, two LS-powered cars. The VE Commodore up front. Gaz Wider on the back door of Fanger Dan. Here he goes. He's putting the pressure on his two-time champion teammate. Gaz Wider, 4 titles under the belt. Look at this proximity, Jared.
Yeah, unbelievable. Great execution there by Gaz Wider. Going against Fanger Dan. Gaz really tight too. Look at that, just tucking into the smoke signal. Killer formation from Gaz Wider. Make some noise, Hampton Downs.
Here comes Gaz Wider. He is still in that smoke street. He's right there with him. There is Gaz Wider. Here he comes up the hill. Can they hang it together? Gaz Wider right onto that back hill. Call the double B. Gaz Wider. Fanger Dan. Gaz Wider,
look at that, dude. I think we don't need to tell you who won. It was proof positive on track. Make some noise for that battle, New Zealand! Yeah, Mikey's up here showing his arms. He's got goosebumps from that battle.
Yeah, that's a lot of commitment right there, but it just goes, you know, the talent that comes out of New Zealand is amazing. You know, these guys are really good.
Do you want to announce the final, Mike?
Final battles is going to be epic. We have Gaz Wider, and then we have Nico Reed.
Right on. And there it is. So Nico Reed, Tony Fa going against Gaz Wider.
It was good. One of the best chase runs I've done for a while. Been out of the game for a couple of years, so it felt good. Well, you can trust him. You know, I've driven with him for 13 years, so it definitely makes a difference.
You know, the amount of stories I could tell you about me and this guy over the last, 10 years of drifting with him, it was just, we're both going out having fun. And every time you come over the hill and you see those people, you're just like, hey, I'm really going to throw it in deep. Yeah, what an awesome day.
Top 2 now with Gaz Wider, you know. Who else better could you battle in the final?
Well, we are ready to see our first ever winner of Mad Mike Summer Bash. We are ready to send it, Warren.
These two respect each other immensely, Jared. Yeah. Nico told me in an interview that I did with him that Gaz was the one guy that he wished he'd had the chance to battle when he was in form.
That is awesome. Well, here we go. The apprentice and the master. Here we go. Out front, Gaz Wider initiates. Nico Reed dropping into formation. Gaz, a little bit of separation. Let's go. Here we go in that first corner.
Gaz Wider on the loud pedal. Nico Reed staying with him, though. Those billows of tyre smoke starting to come off the back of the Gaz Wider car. Nico Reed's being gapped slightly. Jared, he's got to come back at him through turn number 3 here.
Yeah, Gaz Wider, you see him just lunge forward. You see that smoke trail stop as Gaz gains some ground ahead of Nico. Nico losing a bit of angle, trying to gain some ground. It's just not happening. Hear that straightaway. Here comes Gaz. Now watch. He'll stay on the throttle.
Yeah, Gaz Wider super strong through this part of the track. Gaz Wider goes well out wide, then he dips right down to the inside in a super fluid line. Gaz Wider on 3 wheels, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands into the Gaz Wider, the 4-time king. That car was on 3 wheels, Jared, through the inside of that turn.
Now, how is Gaz going to chase down? We're talking about their chase game, and we just saw Gaz throw down one of the nastiest chase runs of today's event against Fang and Dan.
This is the final that you are all here for. Nico Reed, the Tunny Far out front. Gaz Wider, the 4-time king. Gaz Wider with them into turn number 1. Gaz Wider bringing the fight to Nico Reed.
Big angle there from Nico Reed. Look at the smoke. Gaz right there, tucked in. Again, an all-S chassis final. Nico.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Get on your feet, ladies and gentlemen. Show your appreciation, show your love. Gaz Wider, Nico Reed, here they come. Up the hill.
So here we go. Again, Nico Reed, Gaz Wider. Can he catch up? Nico gaining some ground. Gaz Wider closing in. And here comes Gaz Wider.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gaz Wider, Nico Reed.
Across the finish line. Yeah.
The international rule of drifting now, Jared, is that we go to the barometer. Who thinks Nico Reed won that one? Who thinks Gaz Wider?
It's just great to come back, not only with Mike coming back, but just the D1 guys that are still competing, and it's good to still know that I can compete with them, and it's just a great feeling having a built car, not as highly spec'd as our last car, but we've thrown some parts together and it's done the damage.
Yeah, it was a good battle. Obviously, it was always going to be hard with Gaz Wider, you know, and hey, he pulled a little gap on me on his lead, and by the sounds of what I could hear, he was on me on his chase. Big shout out to Mad Mike. You know, what a fabulous day bringing all sports together, and what more could you ask for? That's the best battles I had in a long time.
I think what they've done with the track, you're constantly coming towards the crowd, so it makes it better to watch, and it's a really technical course, and I just love the way you could slow down, speed up, do what you had to do to stay pinned on that other guy's door, and it was just definitely got the juices flowing.
Skids as they're known here at the first ever Mad Mike Summer Bash at Hampton Downs. We'll see you next year.